Summer, oh summer, isn't that just such a quite a bonding experience for all of us, especially Europeans, when we have to live with the heat reaching 40 Celsius during the day and 30 at night? And of course, we don't have any AC either, which is why the best thing to do right now is just hibernate in your own house and read manga. And here I will present to you some perfect manga for summer and some horribly, and I mean horribly, ill-fitted for it. I think it's only fitting to start up with Lunolita, as there isn't any worse time of the year to be dressing alternative than summer. Makeup, wigs, laces, all of that is just something that already gives me a chill thinking about it in this heat. I was really interested in this manga ever since it got announced, since, I like subcultures in Japan such as gyros, jurai, etc. I personally am also a really fan of the fashion for myself. Wait, this is a skirt I made out of a dress, a Lolita dress, because the Lolita dress was too small for me. Yeah, I don't wear it. But I don't really get my indulgences much because Japanese stores usually probably won't have my size unless the store will be called something like Fatty Picky Picky Fatty. The manga is quite fresh and new, there isn't a lot to be said about it yet, but from what you do get, I would say that the plot can be a little bit silly, like for example, they're adding drama where there isn't necessarily a need for one, such as when main character forgets what her favorite color was as a child, and then she remembers it was literally fucking black. There's something to be said about forgetting what you used to like and trying to rediscover yourself again and enjoy something from your childhood in a completely different light and know what you do like and don't like. I'm rooting for this manga since I feel like it's doing something new and interesting, even though I don't think it's necessarily groundbreaking. It's kind of just about fashion, some romance sprinkle into it, some drama. But I like Lolita fashion. I think I will just keep on liking it, even though my usual plate is just a big pile of shoujo and yuri manga. Now, if the last manga was a sunburn, this one is a heat stroke. If you have been watching my videos for a while, which you probably are, and let's be honest, you know that I'm quite a big fan of shoujo and yuri, but let's talk about shoujo this time. Mostly of the new generation, I will admit. I think the new shoujo that we get nowadays is doing something really fun and interesting with their stories, and especially with art style. I think the art style is the most beautiful there is in the or demographics. But let's listen to this one, because I know that people will look at most of the titles that come up and just say high school romance and that's it. But if you are willing to look deeper, you can find such things as My First Beloved Brother, which I only found out about through a little advertisement that came with my little copy of It's Too Soon to Fall in Love with God. And actually I found out about a lot of titles through those little advertisements, so it works on me. But hey, why isn't this manga on my anime list? Why is it not added? I think something this big that is on a big shoujo magazine should already be there, so please fix this. But yeah, about the manga. It's quite weird, just listen to the setup. Girl goes to meet up with her new father. Her mother is marrying and finds out that he has a son, but this son is her ex-boyfriend she still has feelings for, and get this, he broke up with her because he knew that their parents are going to marry and he wanted to become her brother because he loves her so much. Yeah, I'm such a fan of the aforementioned brother since he's just such a dum-dum and he makes his own life harder for the stupidest reasons. It's kind of interesting that such a silly and fun character is also an obsessive stalker, but he's still lovable. He's still somebody I really like to see on the screen, on the paper, I guess. But I really hate his design. I kinda hate that first and second volume of this manga looks the way it is, but that's okay. The girl though, very cute, very adorable. She's kinda fun. I don't know much about her still after reading 2 volumes, but I'm looking forward to a third one, and the fourth one's coming out soon too. And so we're gonna see if I like her a little bit more, but for now, I just really hope she will get past her feelings for her brother/ex and will get with a certain but better boy. I just saw that Dengeki Daisy is getting an anime in 2027. When the fuck did it came out? And why now? What happened? What the fuck? Now I will do 180 and give you something to send chills down your spine. We have to keep cool somehow in this heat, you know? Meanwhile, I'm drinking hot tea because, okay, I will let you on a little secret. It's not hot today, it's actually kind of cold, but let's keep up the summer energy. I think I don't need to make anybody aware of Silent Hill F video game, but I will make you aware of Silent Hill F manga adaptation. It has been a long time coming. I remember a year ago or so when I heard about the adaptation being in plans, and I was very excited for it because I think this is exact kind of game that to be turned into manga adaptation. It's eerie energy, slow pace, lots of symbolism, bada bing bada boom, great manga, you know? But hey, then I checked it out and I noticed that it just doesn't have that slow and mysterious pace that the game had or anything else about this game, honestly. It's so rushed and fast paced, and every chapter is so hectic that it doesn't work like at all. I would even go as far to say that it's kind of a slop of a manga, honestly. I was so very disappointed in all of it, and I hope that maybe someday we'll get a different manga adaptation of this game that it actually deserves by somebody who can develop some more love and energy towards it. But you know, I wouldn't really bet on it. I really do feel like sometimes an author is very ill prepared to write their manga. Like they are burning out as I'm reading their work, or like someone is standing behind their shoulder with a gun to make them write. And yes, this is a segue to Such a 14-year-old, which I also got introduced to through a paper ad that came with the manga at some point. While reading this manga, I was just wondering, what the fuck is the plot here? What's the hook? What's what? I get that they are 14 and have crush on each other, but is that really all there is? The hook is that they are 14? I feel like this isn't enough to be a driving force to make a serialized manga. Like, what's next? Will the driving force be that they're just a boy and a girl? Or that it's a high school shoujo? I mean, I do think the design of the character is cute. I'm a sucker for this, like, you know, pastel color scheme and big chibi heads, but neither this or the writing is saving this manga from being on my chopping block, and oh yes, the knife is near. But I want to stress it again, I think that new gen shoujo manga really has a lot to offer even in high school romance department, but a lot of time it feels like author just puts their little OCs into a manga and doesn't really know what to do with them. Like here's the unfortunate case of Fukakouryoku no I Love You, which is absolutely gorgeous manga with amazing writing and pacing that could have been up there as my favorite, but at last it just doesn't have the it factor that would make it an interesting read. For clarification, I have this manga on hold for now, since I really do think the writing here is very beautiful, but there just isn't any hook to make me want to read another volume of it. Maybe it arrives in the volume past the first one, but that's kind of far for there to be a hook, you know? I know that for some people, cute guy would be enough to read the manga, and let's be honest, that's who is geared towards, but I think we non-men lovers could also enjoy some shoujo if it's written well. Futarijime Romantic is a manga by the same author who is bringing us Horeta Hareta Panda, which I actually talked about in a different video, which has found quite a success with the first volume on sale. I think got sold out pretty quickly. I'm really enjoying it too, so I decided to also check out the author's earlier work. I'm planning to check out another one in the future as well. Now, about this series. It may be quite short, only 3 volumes long, but I couldn't help but really struggle reading it. It took me like 2.5 weeks to finish it, which is quite a long time to finish something so short. I also managed to have quite a love-hate relationship with it, based purely on the fact that I don't really get this story. Don't get me wrong, I understand the underlying thesis of that fate isn't something romance need to be based on to be successful, but the way I see it, the couple just doesn't work for me. The guy is so cold, giving this girl just shreds of his feelings, while she not only deserves more, but she also gives him so much more love and affection that she seems to be directing at the wall. I just can't find the couple very sweet, and I don't know if that's an issue with me or with romance manga, but here's another one where I just don't see the chemistry. You might as well be the one is fucking crazy, but good crazy. I do find it very fascinating to center shoujo series around this stylish girl falling in love with a guy that seems just normal average guy could be a shonen protagonist, honestly. And then we find out that he actually likes to sleep around and he's kind of a non-commitment kind of guy. But the crazy part is that she still loves him. Even crazier is that the manga is trying to make him sleeping around to be some kind of curse on him that he can't control, and we're supposed to feel pity on him. And listen, whenever I read this manga, I just hope to God that this guy is not the end goal. Who am I kidding? He is. Of course he is. And that's why I can't put this manga down. It's just such a good fucking drama. It makes you chew your nails and yell into the void, but goddamn, you just can't stop. I love manga like this, and I look forward to another volume. I'm really glad I picked it up. You should too, because I don't want to be the only person frustrated about what's going on here. Insert here Gokurakugai segment. Here's a fun fact. Sometimes one thing that can make you like manga more is just a different translation. Here's another fun fact. I used to study English translation in university. I did end up dropping out since I hate grammar, but here is something you guys should know as manga fans. Every book or comic or text, after it becomes translated, it becomes kind of its own new work. As a translator, you have lots of different options for translation, and such things as word-for-word translation is just not an option in most of the cases. Each language has its own quirks, ways of sayings, etc. For example, have you noticed how in manga or in Japanese games, a lot of times sentence ends with isn't it? That's because that's one of the quirks of Japanese language, like ine, I don't know much about Japanese language, but I know this much. Now, if you're a translator, you can either, number one, try to translate the quirk, so do the isn't it, 2, get rid of the quirk, or 3, localize the quirk and do like right, or just get rid of it to make it more localized, honestly. There isn't only one good option for it, for even such small thing like isn't it. Translation in general is a really interesting thing and very artistic thing because you as a translator have to make choices that a lot of times are artistic choices. Jacob Geller made a very interesting video about this in How to Translate a Forest, where he discusses a few different very distinct translations for one Chinese poem. So if you're interested in translation in general, please watch that too. Although you probably already did. I should be the one being noticed by Jacob Keller. And all that is just for me to say that I tried an English translation of Gokurakugai instead of Polish, and I like it a lot more, to the point where I actually really enjoy the series. My personal opinion is that publisher Studio JG translates their manga in a very localized way that just does not make sense in a series such as this one. They seem to play very loose with their translation, which I like when I read The Way of the Household Husband, but I hate when I read most of their other translations. Coming back to Gokurakugai, I think a lot of people give a lot of shit to the series for being like Chainsaw Man, and I can see that, but I think past volume 3 or so, it really changes its energy and begins to have some of its own identity that I am starting to love. And that was a long segment, let me drink some tea, okay? I'll be short with saying that Shadow's House sucks though. I actually loved the series when I started reading it, but now that I came back to it after like a year or so, I noticed how freaking badly it's written. I don't know what happened to it past volume 3. When they went and did this basically, Ricky, do you know what we stand for? Insert here a huge plot down that explains everything about the word of the book. Yes, I don't know that. Then why did you get the idea? Like, that's the worst kind of writing I have ever seen, and my discipline is immerse, and whatever immerse means anyways. But when I first read this manga, I thought it was a good manga. I don't know what happened. Maybe I just grew up and noticed that the writing sucks, or past volume 3 just became downhill from there.
Hello.
I'm gonna be too quiet, I'm telling you.
What do you mean?
I mean, because I don't know what to do without script. How am I supposed to just talk? Well, I don't know.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to have the ending, basically.
And what is the ending?
I don't know, I'm just saying why the video exists. And I mean, I could just use this when I'm recording, and that's going to be explanation enough.
Yeah. So why does the video exist? Sorry, wait, hold on. I'm polluting the audio.
No, I already put on the things we said before with the noise that it was before.
Well, we're gonna do this too. And begin. Hi.
Hi. That's not gonna be the beginning, but anyways. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I don't think my video was this good this time because I was quite burned out. Everything seemed kind of similar and boring and uninspired.
I read the script. I thought it was pretty good.
You didn't read the script. You didn't read the whole script.
I read the parts that I read, and I thought that they were very good.
Yeah, then everybody's gonna be like 2 minutes in and not watch anymore. They're not gonna even see this part at all.
Well, that's just YouTube.
Okay, well...